I did a massive 2-day virtual event through my video membership program platform I use called Uscreen. And it was a lot of moving parts and things that went into making this virtual event happen. So I want to share with you what that process looked like, how I set it all up, how we executed on it, so that if you are thinking about hosting a virtual event, you can do it as well. So let's dive into this. By the way, my name is Desiree and I'm here to help simplify your social media life, period. Now you might be like, Desiree, what does a virtual event have to do with social media? Well, let me explain, okay? So my virtual event was supposed to be an in-person event turned virtual event, and the objective was to bring women creators together so they could learn and level up what they needed to know so that they could make full-time creator life their dream come true. Now, when it comes to the social media part of it and how that part all works, it's because social media is an integral part of being a creator. You have to be promoting what you're doing, sharing what's going on, giving facts, information, connecting, and that's really where you're building an audience. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that. Those are social media-esque platforms where we build a community. Now, part of what the virtual event did to support the community is it educated and it brought people into a different way. We had 35 presenters that spent time on a Saturday and a Sunday talking about really niche specific topics. And so in order for all of that to happen, in order for us to have like content for days and a membership actually turned mastermind to sell and all of these things, we had to like make it all work. So I want to talk to you and show you what that process looked like on the back end, so you know what you're getting yourself into if you're looking for a way to like create more content, if you're looking for a way to like build a membership platform, which is great for digital products and all these things. If you're looking for a way to like create more content so you have an easier time posting on your social media, all this stuff. This is like the next level of what you would be doing on social media. Social media is about like content creation, scheduling, being out there, building a brand, all this stuff. This is the next level where you gotta take all of that work you're doing on social media to a community to connect with them more. So let me show you what that looked like. Let's head over to the computer. Okay, so while Uscreen was the home where everything lived, StreamYard was the machine that made this work, which is why they're the sponsors for this video. Like, they are my go-to ride or die company for all things video production. Okay, so first and foremost, what we had to do to make this work is we had to go schedule out all of our live events. So that was the first step. So we went in here to Uscreen to our content, went to live events, and then we had to add a new event. We filled in all of this information. Now, when we had our speakers listed out and applied, what they did is they gave us like a title for their event and like a description. But one of the things that we kind of kept running into is the descriptions weren't super great. So I would have these kind of like really vague sort of like what this is about sort of topics. So what I did is I actually would take their description and put it into ChatGPT and flesh out a really good description, and then also get ChatGPT to give me like a 2-sentence sort of short description to put into here. Okay, and then we had our appearance, which is where we had to like classify into what category it went to. We had to put in our thumbnail, and I just used Adobe Express for creating all of our thumbnails, which I'll show you in a second, and all that stuff. But the big one was in streaming. Okay, so what we had to do is every single session that we had its own event, and then it had its own stream key. So I had all of these. So when we go into StreamYard, you can see all of these destinations that we have here. We had over 37 custom RTMPs that we had to create. And so how we did it is we just titled it by what the session was. That way the name of the session in the live event and the name of the RTMP was the same name. That way it was easier to find it. So we just did the URL, the stream key, and then this was the live event link, which is where we found everything for what we needed to do. So when it was time to go live, what we would do is go to StreamYard, hit go live, and then we would hit the go live button here in Uscreen. So there's a lot of screen hopping around to make this whole process sort of work. I know that sounds kind of like a lot. So let me kind of show you like what these ended up looking like. So what we would do when we would go into our broadcast, we would have our live stream, we would pick one of our destinations, and we would create the broadcast, and then we had the link for when we were ready for it to go. We didn't schedule the broadcast because we would be changing things around with the schedule and stuff, so we did not schedule it so that we weren't limited by the time of it. We could just keep it fluid and keep it going. Now, we also had 3 rooms happening at a single time. So you're talking 3 live streams happening at one time. So what we did is we created a room. You're quoting here, like we had like like a room, and every single one of the rooms had its own person would go in. It had its own sort of look and feel, and they would have that person, their stuff would get added. They'd had their slides, which we had the speaker have ready ahead of time, and they would go to present and share their screen, and then they could control how it would work and everything like that. So in order for us to navigate smoothly through each of the live streams, what we had was a run of show for every single live stream. So what we would do is have everything kind of set up ahead of time. So we would have like what we would do, connect to the speaker, make sure their sound all worked and they were in the room before we went live, have them pull up their slides, share their screen, done. And then we would add the overlay of who they are. In the case of this, I'm just going to say it was this, so that when we went and hit this go live button, this is what people would see at the start of it, so that we could make sure we were all set and ready to go while we went over to Uscreen to hit go live and check to make sure the feed was live. Okay. And then we would use StreamYard's super fun background music to allow us to have music going. So it wasn't this weird like dead thing. Are they live? Are they not live? So this was a really handy little feature for us to have as well. And then we went into like what it was. Welcome to this session, the title of the session, and who it was that was speaking. Then we kind of had our ongoing housekeeping that we said every single time to remind people about asking questions in the community tab. We pulled up our membership overlay that we had to encourage people to like sign up for the mastermind. I said, so we used our run of show to give us really specific cues and make sure that we were giving attention to our sponsors. So like in the case of this is like pull up our sponsor, read the little blurb about the sponsor. Then we had the bio for the speaker, and then we would bring the speaker into the room. And by into the room, it was like we would have another sound, they'd bring them onto the stage, and then we would have them like do their thing, and then we would remove ourselves completely from the stream, so that way we could walk, drink, sneeze, cough, all that kind of stuff in the background without any worries about what was going on here. And then if like something was going on, we could mention it. Now, because we were using the RTMP and we were using Uscreen, we were not able to like have the chat here in StreamYard. So like usually when you're going live like through Facebook or YouTube, you can have the chat show up and you get the questions. So what we were doing is we were going into the banners, and then we would add the questions in as they were coming in on the chat. That way at the end of this session, we had all of these sort of ready to go, and we could pull them up onto the screen for the speaker to answer as well. So it just made things really easy. Throughout the broadcast as well, we would have the scroll for our sponsors in here as well to get them to sign up for vidIQ, who was sponsoring the room for that day, and all that other information. But this was what was really helpful for us to have the visuals for the questions, that we were keeping track of what was going on in the chat since the speaker was busy doing their presentation. So it just made things really easy. And then back to the run of show, we reminded people to leave any questions, remove ourselves from the stage, all of this stuff, time for Q&A, and then tell the speaker to be done, and then whatever specific direction we needed them to do at the end. Okay, so that was really like how our workflow was. Then we would hit end the broadcast, because we were also making sure we were recording locally, so we had the files, and then we were good to go. That way it got done. Now with Uscreen, after the event was live, it would get moved to the videos section of the content. And the one thing I did not like about Uscreen within this is that every single thing got removed. So the description, the short description, the author, everything, the appearance, we have to go back in and update all of it. So I've only gone back in and made sure that all of the thumbnails are there. I haven't done the details and stuff just because it's a lot of work. And then I made sure the publishing was where it needed to be, that the content was part of the different appropriate packages, all of the stuff that you have in the back end to make sure that everything works. Because once the session was recorded, it was available for a week, and then we had to make it only available if you were part of the mastermind, which we were kind of doing this to promote. So it was just a lot of back-end logistics, and when you have like 35, 40 videos, it just can get to be a bit much. So with StreamYard, that's how that whole process worked. And what's nice is we also still have the local recording backups within StreamYard, because we have the 100 hours of storage because we do so much stuff. And so if I want, I can go into here at a future time, and I could create clips from it if I wanted to, because I have the original thing. I could trim or repurpose content for horizontal or for vertical video, all that kind of good stuff, and just make it work the way that I really, really like it to. So I can, again, make it bigger, all that stuff. So I have the option for the future, which is why it was important to just have the recordings here in StreamYard so that I can do more with them at a future date or time. Now, with Adobe Express, I was able to really simplify my process by having all of our graphics in here. Adobe Express is collaborative, so I was able to work with one of our room managers, Caroline and Melody, to make sure that all the graphics were done. So I was able to just really go into Adobe Express, pick a thumbnail template that I liked for the conference, and then create it. So this is like our master graphic that we used for social promoting, but then every single person got their own cover image because we needed these thumbnails to be eye-catching but descriptive so people knew kind of what they were getting themselves into. And you can do up to 30 per project. So we had 2 projects because we had over 30 sessions and stuff. We had like a different design that we got to use for all of this, right? So it just made things a lot easier for us to have it all in one place, and we could download them in bulk, change the names of who they are, and organize them so that we could upload them appropriately under the appearances tab so that the thumbnails worked for it as well. So there was just so many things that we needed to make this project work that were simplified by these really amazing free tools that we had. Like again, StreamYard is free, Adobe Express is free. We had really great sponsors, so we made sure that we had the right overlays for our sponsors. We had like this master overlay that we did, and then we would have the individual ones where we could get people to drive traffic back to where we were and check out our affiliates. So just all worked together the way that it was supposed to. My objective within this virtual conference was to give a lot of information while not breaking the bank or being unobtainable. Like I wouldn't want anybody to be able to come in here and they could create their own event if they wanted to. So just to kind of like recap what we did here, we had Uscreen as like our home where all the content lives for our mastermind, where we have our live event, we have courses that we use it for live trainings that we do weekly office hours. It all like projects through Uscreen, but StreamYard is the studio that makes it all happen. We have all the RTMPs, the live streams, all of the Women in Video podcasts are up there, so because those get put up onto Uscreen as well. Like I said, StreamYard is the heart of it all that allows for it to happen with our visuals, our clipping, our screen sharing, all the stuff that goes into it so that it can work as well as it's supposed to within the platform. We use Adobe Express to create all of our graphics, not only just for the thumbnails, but also for social promotions, all of the speaker graphics that we made, everything like that. And then we used our run of show to make sure that every live stream had a cohesive flow and purpose, and then we hit our beats around promoting our sponsors, making sure that the bios were correct and the information was correct for our speakers. And then we had our system within StreamYard to collect questions, promote the different sponsors and the events and all the things like that. So it just worked really, really well. Did it take me a minute to get to it? 100%. It took a lot of time and working through it, and worked with like a virtual event specialist and all of these things. And then it also required like a massive amount of organization. Let me show you what our spreadsheet looked like for the conference so you can kind of see how we made everything work the way that it was supposed to and organized in a way that made sense. So we all needed to have one place where we knew when every single thing was happening, what the session information was, how to contact the speakers in case something happened, like their emails, their cell phones, all that. So this was our schedule. It's color coordinated by like the kind of content. So blue was platform, yellow was niche, green was money, all that. Anyway, so this is how it works. So we could reference like this was the topic and this was the speaker. And then in the session information, we took this and expanded upon it. So we could easily reference everything. So we had the Uscreen link. This was the link to where you would watch it in Uscreen. This was the link that we would send to the speaker that we would use when we were scheduling all the content out so that you could join in to the stream as a guest. And what I did is I made a calendar invite, and I made sure all the calendar invites had easy. That way even we as the room hosts just clicked it and entered the studio rather than having to scroll through the list of RTMPs to find the right place to go. And then we had our title and our description in here. So like I said, it was all very simple. And then we have all of of our speaker information. I'm not going to show that to you because it has a lot of personal information from the speakers. Y'all don't need to see. But this is how we organized it when we were setting everything up so we can make sure everything was working the way that we wanted it to, because there were a lot of parts. And I lived in this spreadsheet for like 2 weeks, making sure everything was done, everything was filled out, that all the pieces were missing, and you know, that we had all the descriptions, all the titles correct, all of the links working the way that it was supposed to, because it was a massive setup undertaking. Once everything was set up, it ran smoothly. Like there was not problems once it was all set up. And once we knew what we were doing, it was getting it all set up and then making sure everything worked, and then making sure the run of shows that made it work. So if I was to do this again, I would make sure to set everything up much sooner than I did. I would make sure that everything like worked smoothly, that we had an after plan, like a post plan, like once the video is live, then what happens. And we just would have really seamless communications amongst myself, the attendees, and also to the speakers, so that it just worked a lot easier, which ran into a lot of issues. So this was great. This was how we created our virtual event. If you want to see how it kind of went down, I have a whole vlog about it right here that you can watch. But thank you so much if you came, and check out the Women in Video Mastermind if you want to like level up everything that you're doing as a creator.